So DJ Reed, cornerback, was the lowest rated Lion yesterday with I think a 29.5% rec grade from Pro Football Focus. I don't think you need Pro Football Focus to tell what your eyes saw. I mean, for the most part, hamstring. You know what I'm saying? He's already a smaller guy, 5'9". So when you had a hindrance, he really don't have the length to really go up there and make stuff happen. So the hamstring is really what killed him. Remember, you got to understand, he said he thought his season was over with. You know what I'm saying? So, once again, you add a guy who doesn't have a deep injury history in the National Football League, if anything serious. And then guess what? He gets to Detroit and he goes down with a hamstring injury. It's just something that they doing wrong, how they prepping their players. And I hear people, the strength and conditioning coach, it's their practices. They practice too hard. He puts too much. And I get it, back in the day, you can have two padded two-a-days and that's how you condition the athlete today. But we hear what Campbell Chicken Noodle Soup said about, the dude leaked out about what's in their food. Most of this food is bioengineered. Most of this shit is fake. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, a lot of this shit, even the vegetables, and they put shit in the vegetables allegedly and all that stuff. So this is one of the reasons why today's athletes, you seeing them with blood clots and you seeing them with, they getting injured as much as that. It's the quality of food, and nutrition of the food. You know what I'm saying? And then really, for the most part, what you're not getting, the vitamin K, B vitamins, and you get that from greeny vegetables, leafy vegetables, certain vitamins you get from, fruits and, beans and all that stuff. A lot of the times, if the food is not real, it doesn't have the nutrition. It doesn't have the nutrition in it. Therefore, we have to supplement some things, but the best way to do it is get it from nuts, seeds, fruits, leafy greens, fruits, vegetables, meat, all those type of things. And that's why you see that the athlete today can't really hang physically. It's really because of the context of food. And then you hear a guy like Mikal Bridges say he go to Chipotle every day. Chipotle, it did a study on them. Allegedly, a lot of their food is plastic. So if you eat now, you eating a lot of plastic. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not eating real food. You look at McDonald's. The dude did the experiment. He put McDonald's in a vault, what was it, a year, and bacteria didn't eat it. If bacteria don't want to eat it, why would you want to put it in your body? You know what I mean? So that's got a lot to do with it too. So it's just not, a lot of them guys, they live in a, high sodium diet. Anytime you eat out, high sodium, that's all it is. When you go to Chick-fil-A, all that shit that's in the chicken, when you go to Chipotle, when you go to these restaurants, they lose a lot of sodium. One thing about frozen foods, they preserved it a lot of sodium. That sodium is what, makes you retain a bunch of water. When you see people had them big ass legs, sodium retention. So if you don't have a balance of good and bad, and it's a bunch of bad coming in, you don't have a bunch of great habits as far as activity, as far as supplement, as far as working out, it's guaranteed that you ain't going to live long. Not in this country, you know what I'm saying? So that's one thing you got to think of. You got to have a balance. You got to eat your green. You got to find somewhere you can get good fruit from. You got to get your fruits, your vegetables, and there, on the weekend, have your fun. Just make sure your body is active where your body can burn that off. But today's athlete, really, just like most Americans, they working in a deficit because of the nutrition. You know what I mean? So you got to be able to pivot or make that adjustment as far as how they going to fix that. And you can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again. 5 seasons of 5 of the same results, 5 years of the same results, or 5 seasons of the same results, injuries. So what are we going to do different? You know what I'm saying? That's the number one question. Okay, let's do less hitting. You know what I'm saying? Let's focus on more stretching. Let's focus on more film work. Let's focus on giving our veterans more rest days. It may be, hey, let's pick up more in the weight room. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's make sure we are more stretched out and we more conditioned more than we doing hitting. So let's focus on the condition part a little bit more. Let's focus on a huge thing, what I was kind of getting to about the high sodium diet. What ended up happening is a lot of these guys don't be hydrated to the point. Even that's what's in Gatorade is a bunch of sodium. But a lot of athletes, they say the hydration ain't there. Even with all that salt they allow them eat, they just still not hydrated enough. Is why you have a lot of those soft tissue injuries that happen from when I was listening somebody say that. So yeah, hydration is key. Your brain sits in fluid, your organ sits in fluid. So yeah, you gotta, pump water. If you ain't drinking water, you most likely you're going to see one of those sicknesses that clap you and send you away from here. You must pump water into your system. There's no supplement for water. You must pump H2O into that system. Especially if you do, especially if you a heavy smoker, heavy alcohol intaker, or you just live an active life. You can live an active, healthy lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? But also, as part of the rehydration, you want to get your lemons, you want to get your celery, your arugula, you want to get your watermelon, you want to get all those type of things that you want to get into your body, to help hydrate you. All those, especially the watermelon and the melons in general. But yeah, that's another issue. They just not hydrated enough. You got to drink water. You got to, get watermelon, water, all that type of stuff. But yeah, his performance, he got here. They just got to figure out why we getting injured so much. I'm telling you, focus more on stretching, maybe bring in stretch therapists in, focus more on the condition part, take away a lot of the hitting, that unnecessary hitting y'all doing, focus on conditioning and focus on stretching, focus on strength, focus on that type of stuff. But Reed was fired before the injury, but they got, I heard Amik Roberts hurt his hands too. So they got decisions to make. They got real decisions to make, to be honest with you. Do you blow the DB room up and start from scratch? Or do you say, okay, and we're going to roll with Ennis Rackstraw, we're going to roll with Terrion Arnold, bring Roxanne back, Avonte Maddox back, DJ Reed back, maybe add somebody into the rotation or keep a meek. Hopefully, I think Brian Branch will be back by next week. We got January, February, March, April, May, June, July. See, he'll be back. He'll be back. I like Thomas Harper. I like Vontae Maddox in the back end. Kirby Joseph. If I'm for sure I can get a healthy Kirby Joseph back next season, yeah, I can wait on Brian Branch. Brian Branch he'd be ready around the season start. So yeah, I can see that. But yeah, I'm not too hard on DJ Reed, man. He hustled back to come back, and the injury, he just ain't the same after the injury. That's all it is, bro. So he get that injury corrected next year, and if next year, Terrion and them still get injured, bro, it's just time to turn the page on him and Rackstraw. Somebody got to step up. But hey, I'm not too harsh on DJ Reed, man. He was balling before the injury. It's just, he gave a sacrifice to come back after the injury. People don't understand. It's hard to come off that hamstring and then trust it. You know what I'm saying? It's real hard. But I hit the link in the description. Follow me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, the whole nine. Peace.